Hello and welcome back to BocciasBattles. If you didn't quite get that, as you've seen, we've now started on Hit on top with its Life Orb and Technician boosted Mac Punch. So we've got a really good priority move there. Now, what else do we want? Does anything on this team actually carry Toxic? Let's have a look. I don't be thinking so. Nope, nothing on this team carries Toxic. Therefore, I think this would be good to carry the Surprise Toxic. Because therefore, we've now got the three mainstream statuses. We've got the Burn to cripple the physical sweepers and do guaranteed damage. Paralysis to give them a chance of not moving and half their speed. And we've got the Poison to wear down the walls. Because we want a wall breaker, and this is going to be our wall breaker. So obviously we're going to have a really powerful physical move. We've got the Mac Punch for priority. Priority is going to be needed in certain situations where you're in a tight spot, or you know it's going to KO and you don't want to waste PP on a more powerful move. We've got the Toxic obviously for the status. Close Combat I'd recommend because you want a really powerful move on a wall breaker, because you've got to be able to smash those walls down. So obviously, Close Combat, you know, it just gives you the idea of punching, kicking the wall down. Yeah, it's just intense power, 120 base power, 100% accurate, really reliable, Life Orb boosted, Stab boosted, it's going to be powerful. I'm not going to recommend having Stone Edge on this, mainly because it's a wall breaker. It's not as reliable. Wall breakers have to be reliable, so therefore I'm going to carry Rock Slide. That's slightly weaker, but it also has a chance of flinch, which could come in useful, although I don't like to rely on hacks there. And yeah, it's a more reliable alternative because Stone Edge has 60 accuracy, if I recall. Let's just check. Oh, 80 accuracy. Well, Rock Slide has 90 accuracy. And it's just generally more reliable. So we don't want to be missing, and you can hit stuff hard. So I recommend max speed, max attack on this because it's a sweeper. And you might think, well, that's quite low stats. Not when you're considering this. You're carrying max attack, which is still 289, which is good, and max speed 2.2 plus. So you outspeed the slow sweepers. Mac Punch is priority anyway, so you don't need to worry that much about speed. Toxic is obviously not really affected by attack or speed, and Mac Punch is also Technician boosted, if I haven't mentioned that. Close Combat 289 is still impressive, and you've got the Life Orb and Stab, and it's 120 base power. That's still not going to be doing. Not going to be that worrying. A Rock Slide. You've got to have a sort of slow sweeper that has priority. So that's another point I need to mention. Very important point. The slower your sweeper, the more it needs a priority move if it can get one. So if you're using something really slow like Conk Elder, obviously you might want it to be slow if you're using Payback, which does more damage if you hit second. But what happens if you need to hit first, and you're on low HP, and you know that if you hit first you can win the match, then you can just go for the Mac Punch, easily KO. There you go. So that's why I always carry priority moves on slower sweepers. Also, although they can be used on boosting sweepers or any sweepers in general. So now our team is finished. Let's go ahead and click on the entire team, and then save that like so. Obviously, and then you just click on it when you want to edit it. So now our team is finished. Congratulations. So we now made an OU team. Seems pretty powerful. So, as I've already said, key points to remember from this are specially based lead, whether that's specially defensive or specially attacking. I prefer sort of specially attacking lead, and then an alternate physically attacking lead. Then we have a special and physical wall, and then you have a special and physical sweeper. Okay, I'll do that one more time for you, a bit more detail. So I recommend having a special and a physical potential lead, because Team Preview will allow them to see. You don't want to make it too obvious what your lead's going to be, because they can predict around that. That's why I like having two alternate leads on two sides of the spectrum. And since Andrus Thurrit is physically based, but also has Intimidate and can take hits quite well due to its having a fairly decent defensive typing for bug and fighting, etc. it means that you can sort of alternate between the two, switch between the two, depends on situational. They both have really good type coverage. You've got a switching move, you've got the really important rocks, you've got boosting move on this one, lots of key coverage and hitting combos. Now also you've got the Jellicent and the Ferrothorn. They both have really good type synergy. I mean, like, they resist each other's weaknesses. That's a very important point to make. Do not make a team that's all weak to fire. Not like mono grass. Mono teams are never recommended unless you're playing mono. So, like, do not make a mono grass team where everything's weak to grass, has no counter to it. Make sure everything has a resistance somewhere else on the team. Otherwise, there could be a point where your opponent just happens to outspeed you or take your hit and just sweep through your whole team with one move. That's not only embarrassing for you, it's fun for them and gives you a bad impression if you care about that. So now we've got that really. Got loads of resistances. I mean, we've got that electric resistance, we've got ground resistance being a flying type, we've got water resistance. So we've got especially defensive and physically defensive all that revolve around each other. The closer, the more you can get them to cover each other's weaknesses, the better. So that's a point to remember. And also the higher their defenses and special defenses, you want to make them the best as possible. So as you know, we've got a status move here on each Will-O-Wisp and Thunderwave. Don't carry more than one of the same status move, unless your team relies around it. So, like, tend to carry different stats moves. They've both at least got one attack, so remember that on wall. Jellicent's actually got a coverage move because it doesn't rely that much on stats. And they both have a recovery move. Walls always have to have a recovery move of some sort. And then, of course, Ferrothorn isn't used as much as an attacker as Jellicent is used as a special attacker, so we're going to carry the spikes as an extra entry hazard that they're going to have to deal with. And oh my gosh, I just realised a massive mistake with this team. Oh dear. Deary dear. I'll explain that in just a second. Right. That could have been potentially fatal for this team. As you can see, now we've got the two physical and special sweeper. Very simple at the end. You just pick a physical sweeper you want, a special sweeper you want. Remember to carry at least one one choice user on your team. I usually recommend two, but not of the same choice. So now we've got the two dual stabs. If they're dual type, remember to have a stab for each. And I need to stop clicking. Trick obviously is the gimmick to the set. It's quite useful, and the energy ball can surprise incoming sweepers there. Oh man, I'm messing this up, man. Fool. Okay. That will do. They've all got. I recommend manually putting the natures in. As you can see here, I'm messing this up just by not putting the natures in manually. So, because I'm not putting the pluses and minuses in. Okay, and then last member here is the Hitmontop. This is a physical sweeper. We don't want everything to be choice based because that can be bad. So it has coverage. It takes advantage of its ability with Mach Punch. It has the toxic surprise move. I like recommending a surprise move on your Pokemon to catch your opponent off guard. Close combat's a hard hitter because this is a wall breaker. Physical sweepers and special sweepers, you need to always have a way of getting around walls. So this is a good example. And the rapid spin, I forgot to put that in last time. More important than rock slide because we already have stone edge and electric moves and ice moves. We just pretty much have everything to hit flying types. Anyway, rapid spin frees users from hazards, partial trap, leech seed. So that's very important because it allows us to get rid of opponents' entry hazards. If they have an entry hazard based team, which a lot of teams are with stealth rock spikes and toxic spikes, you do not want half of your team poisoned or half of your team, especially like Chandelure here, taking stealth rock damage a lot when it switches in, or spikes damage on the Jellicent, Jolteon and Chandelure. So you're going to want to find a way of breaking that apart. I hope this is useful. Just key things to remember, key points: physical and special lead, physical and special sweeper, physical and special wall, coverage moves, stab moves, carry at least one attack on everything, don't have too many choice users, have fun, have good type synergy, and make sure you EV input the natures in right. And also FGW core, recommend that always to resist and do super effective hits. Hope this helped you, GoldenMeganium, or whatever your name was. Until next time, BocciasBattles out, and ready for the next tutorial.